beautiful souls. My name is Claire, and I'm the Cosmic Fairy 777. Today, I'm going to make a video about the power and influence energy has on all of us and how we can become its master. We all know that energy exists. It's the invisible force that animates all things and causes events to happen. Many of us are waking up to the power of the unseen world, and we're becoming aware that collective consciousness is evolving. We're developing an understanding of how vibration and frequency impacts everything around us. For me, the whole world is alive with energetic inputs from people, places, plants, animals. Everything that we interact with is having an effect on our consciousness. And likewise, we are also having an effect on the things that we come into contact with, and also the things that we think about regularly. Some things help to raise our frequency, like having a lovingly prepared meal with supportive friends. And other things are going to lower our frequency. Things like scrolling through social media, watching a horror movie, probably watching the news too. We have to be mindful of what we're allowing into our energetic field. But of course, having the discipline to make good choices can be easier said than done. Our modern world is seemingly designed to draw us into our lower fear-based emotions. We're encouraged to feel a constant state of lack. Society is always telling us that we're not enough or we don't have enough. And this is often going to lead us to do things that pacify these negative feelings, like eating a bunch of donuts or watching TV. If we think of a Netflix show or a Hollywood movie, it really has great power to influence the viewer. When you watch TV, you are put into a hypnotic alpha brainwave state. And this means that you're more susceptible to taking on board the messages that are conveyed. And if we look at the mainstream media, most of the messages are not helping us feel empowered. At best, they're a big time suck. At worst, they're normalizing behavior that takes us away from our true selves. They're often glamorizing things like casual sex, violence, drug and alcohol abuse. And if you enjoy those things, I'm not here to judge. I've certainly had my past partying days. But in the end, I realized that engaging in these behaviors was just taking me further away from who I really was and getting on mission to do the things that I'm supposed to do in this life. If you want to raise your consciousness and your energy, you have to limit exposure to these negative influences. So one of the main ways that energy is transmitted between people is thoughts and feelings. The power of our intentions greatly affects the outcome. So if we look at Dr. Emoko's experiments with ice crystals, you've probably heard of these experiments. It's where water was meditated upon and then it was frozen. And when it was meditated upon with positive emotions such as love and gratitude, the ice crystals were very beautiful and concordant. But then when you looked at the negative emotions such as hate and disgust, the ice crystals were really discordant and they just didn't look quite right. And another way that this kind of effect is shown is in the study of cymatics. This is where sound frequency is played onto a plate full of sand. And when you do the lower frequencies, these also have a more discordant pattern, whereas the higher frequencies, you're getting into the more flower of life, beautiful patterns. Another everyday practice that we can think about that is all about conveying that positive intention is the practice of saying grace or a prayer before eating a meal. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh, this is religious and dogmatic. But if you think about the original intent of saying grace, it was to infuse the food with that positive love and intention. And it's going to improve the nutritional quality of the food and just really give the person that's eating the meal all those good vibrations. So when we consider all of this, we have to be both mindful of what we surround ourselves with and also what we're thinking ourselves. We've all heard of the law of attraction, that we attract circumstances into our lives that we are a vibrational match for. Of course, if it were just as simple as thinking positive thoughts, we'd all be manifesting dream partners, jobs, homes, but most of us find it hard, if not impossible, to think of positive thoughts all the time. And even when we can shut out the negative thoughts, our subconscious and energetic field, they're still probably going to contain patterns that will attract things into our lives that we don't consciously want. There's lots of things that we can do in the 3D world that will give us the best chance to be in a positive mindset. Things like eating healthily, engaging in self-reflection, understanding our triggers, and, just doing things that give us joy. But we can often find ourselves drawn back into these negative patterns and addictions. We can try very hard, but we can just feel like something invisible is holding us back. This is where we can begin to look at the energetic system for clues. At a simple level, we can attract negative thoughts and experiences through blocked or stagnant energy. We often just don't know it's there. There are lots of things that we can do in the 3D world to ensure that we give ourselves the best chance to be in a positive mindset. Just the standard things like eating healthy, exercising, engaging in self-reflection, understanding your triggers, and just really doing things that bring you joy. But even so, we can often find out that we're drawn back into negative patterns such as addictions, and we try really hard to make progress, but we just feel like there's something that's just like holding us back. This is where we can look at the energetic system for clues. At a simple level, we can attract negative thoughts and experiences just because we've got blocked and stagnant energy in our system. We're often just not aware of it. Another reason for being a match to negative events is past trauma. We tend to re-experience similar negative situations throughout our lives. Source is essentially bringing these patterns back into our attention so that we can examine and heal them. Although it can often feel like the universe has it in for you, especially if you have a lot of trauma that you need to heal. From an energetic point of view, this trauma is stored in the body and the light body, and it can be released through channeling source light energy into the affected areas. Another way is doing inner child work, some yoga practices also can help relieve trauma. Another reason we can be a match for negative events is past trauma. As we go through our lives, we tend to experience similar negative situations. This is essentially Source bringing these patterns back into our attention so that we can examine and heal from them. Although I know when you're experiencing them, and I certainly feel it myself, that the universe has it in for you. And this is especially true if you've got a lot of trauma to heal. From the energetic point of view, this trauma is generally stored in your body and your light body. And we can use Source light to release this trauma from the affected areas. Another good practice is doing inner child work, and also some yoga practices can help release trauma from the body. We can also be an unconscious magnet for negativity, especially addictions and looping thoughts, because we have an entity or implant attachment. Entities are beings from outside our realm that feed off negative emotions. And implants are etheric technology that is designed for the same purpose, to bring in a certain negative emotion. Generally, this is the case if we're just locked in a certain pattern of negative thoughts and we're just like in a loop, and especially true for addictions. We can also be an unconscious magnet for negativity, especially addictions or obsessive and looping thoughts, because we have an entity or an implant attachment. Entities are beings from outside our physical realm that feed off our negative emotions. And implants are etheric technology that is designed for the same purpose of harvesting particular negative energy or a particular negative emotion. So generally, if you're in a low vibe state, you're going to attract more of these and you're going to create a negative feedback loop. Energy clearing can remove these, and it's also important to keep on making choices that, are positive, so you don't attract them back into your field. Manifesting the life that we want is all about taking care of both our physical and non-physical selves. When they are both healthy, we are much more easily able to co-create our dreams in line with our higher purpose. I hope I have helped you understand more about how energy impacts our daily lives. If you want to learn more, check out the other videos on my channel. And if you'd like to book an energy healing, please visit my website, cosmicfairy777.com. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day, and namaste.